Derek Carr is set to speak at Church LV this weekend, and we wondered if he's going to make some comments about the Raiders, but instead, he has gone to social media and said a goodbye to the fans, to Raiders fans on Instagram and Twitter. He finally said his goodbye, and a lot of players reacted to this and had some very interesting comments. Some former Raiders. We're also going to hear from Derek Carr's agent, and I want you guys to pay attention to some key words and phrases throughout both these posts from the agent and Derek Carr, because it's going to give us some insight as to what's going to happen with Carr, with the Raiders. Will he be traded? Will he be released? And where will he go? I think there's some really good key details in here, and it also shows how he feels about the organization, especially after the way he went out. Now, check out Derek Carr here. Raider Nation, it breaks my heart I didn't get an opportunity to say goodbye in person. We certainly have been on a roller coaster in our 9 years together. From the bottom of my heart, I am so grateful and appreciative of the years of support you gave to my family and me. We had our share of heartbreaking moments and thrilling game-winning drives. Oh yes, we did. And it always felt like you were there next to me. It's especially hard to say goodbye because I can honestly say that I gave you everything I had in season and in the off season. It certainly wasn't perfect, but I hope that I was able to leave you with more than a few great moments as Raider fans. Thank you to the city of Oakland for taking us in. Thank you to the city of Las Vegas for allowing us to proudly call you home. Thank you to the organization, my teammates, all my coaches, staff, and everyone that helped me these last 9 years in those two buildings. Thanks to all of Raider Nation that supported, encouraged, pushed, and uplifted me different times along the journey. Raider Nation truly is special. I once said, and this is huge, that if I'm not a Raider, I would rather be at home. I meant that, but I never envisioned it ending this way. Ending this way, horrible fashion, with disgusting genius Josh, who did this man so dirty, and Mark Davis as well. That fire burning inside of me to win a championship still rages. A fire no man can extinguish, only God. So I look forward to a new city and a new team who, no matter the circumstance, will get everything I have. Winning a championship is what I've always wanted and what I will continue to work towards. God bless you all with love. So very interesting to see. He never envisioned his career ending that way. Obviously not happy with how things turned out with the Raiders. Therefore, this whole once a Raider, always a Raider thing no longer applies because it was cut so short. His time with the Raiders, he's still 31 years old, still can compete with the best of them in the NFL. And it also showed that he did not expect this to happen. So Josh McDaniels, did he set Carr up? Did he sabotage Derek Carr? Well, we're hearing from reports from Vincent Bonsignor that, the Raiders decided early on in the season to move on from Derek Carr. Oh, no, scratch that. The Raiders actually decided once they made him sign this contract that they're going to move on from Derek Carr, even though this same writer of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, when the contract was originally signed, was like, oh, yay, Derek Carr is going to be the QB forever. McDaniels is committing to him. So it's all BS, all flip-flopping. And Derek Carr, I think, was played. That's why he never envisioned it ending this way. It was a surprise to be benched and to be, in some people's mind, sabotaged this season. And you have Max Crosby sending a heart here. You have Zay Jones. No man wanted more for the Raiders than you. You embodied what it meant to wear silver and black. You took me in as soon as I got there. I know the Lord has a plan for you. Love you, bro. That is Zay Jones of the Jaguars. And we have Richie Incognito sending some love, along with Brandon Parker, who's on IR this year primarily. Forever my QB. Andre James as well. Donald Penn, Will Compton, Bryce Butler. A lot of great people, and also Kenyon Drake, who's with the Ravens in the playoffs right now, one of my favorite teammates, and also Marquette King. That's a little bit of a surprising one. And we also have a lot of people liking this, including Josh Jacobs, and obviously Cleveland Farrell, Foster Moreau, David Carr, Zeus, Zamir White, Denzel Perryman, Duran Harmon, and Devontae Adams, of course. And Devontae Adams even shared this post, 12 years and counting. Love, bro. 12 years, I believe, is reference to their time together playing from college to NFL. Got 9 years of NFL with Derek Carr and then 3 years in college. Still showing some love for his guy. What I found more interesting is what the agent had to say. We know Derek Carr, he's going to say some comments, but he's not going to say anything negative about somebody. That's just his character. That's who he is. You often see his family trying to chime in and almost speak on his behalf and fight for him because they're so frustrated with the fact that Derek Carr is just so peaceful, with his relationship with other people who even burn him. Ever since the Stephen A. Smith Smith, Max Kellerman debacle where Derek Carr wanted to challenge them to an MMA fight. We've seen Derek Carr be super non-confrontational and just not speak to the media that much ever since then, because I guess he thought it was a bad look. He wants to be a peaceful guy, but we have his agent speaking out about the situation with the Raiders. Very, very interesting. So for anybody who still thought there was a chance that Derek Carr might be with the Raiders, no, that is definitely not happening. Derek's tenure with the Raiders effectively is finished. Relationships do end, but as is the case here, a treasure of memories and friendships remain, along with a very special bond with his fans. Derek Carr is staying here. These won't end. Teams constantly search for franchise players who invest themselves completely, as Derek did nearly a decade, maybe even to a fault. That's a huge line right there. Maybe even to a fault. He invested himself in this franchise for nearly a decade. Think about if you're Derek Carr's agent. You're always trying to get a fat new deal. You're always looking at other teams you may be interested. His agent's probably been telling him, yo, Derek, we could go here. You know, you can dip out on the Raiders. You can make more money, probably win a championship easier. This is a horrible franchise. And Derek's probably said no. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Way too freaking loyal, even to a fault, like his agent just said. That's his true legacy here. Much more so than the numerous team records he holds. He always showed up first. He played hurt, and through some tumultuous times, he led from the front and never complained. That's part of it. Never complaining to go somewhere else. He will carry a piece of this organization with him always, and that doesn't include the hardware souvenir in his ankle. Talking more about the injuries that Derek Carr has battled. Very quiet about the injuries that he's battled. He had a huge injury in that Colts game in 2016, and we often forget how big of an impact that had on him. Now, he looks forward to the opportunity to write a new chapter for himself and his career. He's earned it. He's earned it. Too committed to the Raiders, almost to a fault. He's earned a new opportunity somewhere else. I mean, to me, the way that this agent is phrasing it, it's almost like he's free. Like Derek Carr is finally free from the Raiders. It does suck that the Raiders are finally spending big, finally getting a number one wide receiver. Carr really hasn't had that since Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree 2018. Number one receiver was Marcel Aitman and Jordy Nelson 2019. Tyrell Williams only for a few weeks when he was healthy, and also Trevor Davis in 2020. Henry Ruggs not looking too hot as a rookie. 2021 was Zay Jones as the number one receiver. Because the Raiders did Derek Carr so dirty, it is actually allowed him to leave. Like he said, he has that burning fire to win a championship that only God can put out, and he never expected it to end this way, basically implying that they did him so dirty, so there's no way that he could hang it up and let that be the last show. And because they did him so dirty, now he's free to leave. Now he's able to say, oh, that once a Raider, always a Raider stuff, that's all a distant memory because they did me dirty, and now he is finally free from the Raiders to go do something special. And it's so funny because even Ian Rappaport and all these national reporters are trying to act like there's a chance for a trade at this point. There is absolutely no way the Raiders trade Derek Carr. Derek Carr has a no trade clause, and he is going to say no. And I got to tip my hat to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, because he's the only one just not making up complete BS for clicks on the Raiders Derek Carr trade situation, basically saying that there is absolutely no way that they trade him. He's going to just demand a release. Why would he want to help the Raiders get draft capital at this point? And any team who would inherit his current deal, where he makes like 33 million this year and then 40 some odd million next year, anybody who would take on that contract of 40 million guaranteed over the next 2 years would give him that same amount in free agency. If you don't have to give up draft picks, if anything, you could pay Derek Carr more because you're not having to fill the roster with free agents because you still have your draft picks. And obviously with the comments that the agent has made, he's been a perfect franchise player, and Derek Carr is still wanting to pursue a championship. So if Derek Carr is going to pursue a championship on another team, you best believe he wants them to keep their draft picks so they could build a championship team around them. And who knows, this is the one thing that people just won't consider and they won't just recognize is probably going to happen. Derek Carr, I would not be surprised wherever he goes, he will take a team-friendly deal to try to win a championship. That is what he tried to do to the Raiders, and he was open to taking a team-friendly deal every single year. He wanted to be that guy. He wanted to be that guy who was a bargain QB to pursue a championship every single year. But obviously Josh McDaniels had ulterior motives. And another franchise who wants that guy who's able to say, you know what? I know I could make $40 million. I know there's 16 teams out there that would battle to try to sign me. I'm going to say no to that because I like this team and I'm going to take a cheap deal because I want to win a championship right now. So that's one thing that a lot of people aren't considering. I firmly believe that Derek Carr, if he finds a place that he's comfortable with, if he finds a place where he likes the people in the organization, believes in them, trusts them, I firmly believe you're going to see a team-friendly deal there. Either way, there's a list of places where Derek Carr could go. I'm thinking the Jets. I'm thinking Tampa Bay. I'm thinking the Commanders with Del Rio. Wow. There is a whole list of places. Oh, maybe the Rams. Matthew Stafford's not looking too healthy. Obviously, the Colts have always been interested. That's a possibility. I want you to tell me in the comments below where you think Derek Carr is going to go. And we will be following Derek Carr on our NFL channel. All updates about Derek Carr, all updates about the entire NFL will be on WiFiWillie NFL. Make sure you subscribe to WiFiWillie NFL for content outside of Raiders. And I will be going live during the playoffs on WiFiWillie NFL. So make sure you turn on notifications so you do not miss us live during the playoffs this weekend. Like this video if you have not yet and subscribe to this channel for more Raiders content. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out. And I hope you have a good one.